That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest part of the ring.
Hello and welcome to episode number 35 of Hardest Part of the Ring, the podcast where four friends get together to discuss the wonder of professional wrestling. Once again, however, there are only three of us today.
When was the last time all four of us got together
Ages ago.
It was a long time.
Yeah, only three of us, but guys, it's the best three.
I mean, you always say that. I'm starting to not believe you.
Yeah, John's in Bolton for some reason.
Yeah, fucking Bolton.
I know. Apologies to any listeners from Bolton, but hello, Sam.
You've taken our John from us. Hello,
and welcome back to Brett.
Hello. Yeah, I was just thinking, welcome back. Where have I been?
Yeah, where
were you last week? Yeah.
Away.
Away.
Okay, cool. That doesn't sound suspicious at all.
No. Interesting. I just wanted to point out before we get into things that this podcast number 35 for us, is actually a bit of a milestone for us as Hardest Part of the Ring, because Extreme Rules 2017, so last year, was the first pay-per-view that we ever reviewed together. Wow. When we started off and we did a couple of test podcasts.
And we knew nothing about wrestling then, and we know even less now. And another strange thing, which is, well, quite cool for me, probably incredibly sad for everyone else listening, but I have a notebook where I make my notes for each pay-per-view, and my last notebook started with Extreme Rules, and I filled it up for Money in the Bank. It's completely full now, and my new notebook... Were there that many notes for Money in the Bank?
No.
There you go.
For the whole year of pay-per-views, and my new notebook has started on Extreme Rules 2018.
This is like our new financial year.
Yeah, what an incredible anecdote. Right, back to the podcast. Let's get back on track. This is our WWE Extreme Rules 2018 review, and we'll get onto that in a minute. At the end of the podcast, we're also going to be announcing our winner of the Riptide Wrestling posters. So yeah, we'll do the draw at the end of the podcast. But before we start, should we talk about the big red and yellow elephant in the room?
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan. WWE.com came out and said after a 3-year suspension, Hulk Hogan has been reinstated to the WWE Hall of Fame. This second chance follows Hogan's numerous public apologies and volunteering to work with young people, where he is helping them learn from his mistake.
All right. So very quickly, I made a note about this because I was
so happy.
So happy. So someone kind of, when the story broke, they said Hogan spent a long time apologising for what he said and hurting others and embarrassing the company.
Yeah.
He also took the time to remind everyone to think about what they are saying, pointing out today's day and age, there are always cameras around and they could always be recorded. And it's just like...
I'm apologising because I got
completely
caught.
Fucking missed the point.
Not for what I've done.
Yeah,
but
that's a proper politician apology right there.
Red-handed.
So fuck off, Hulk. You're not forgiven in my books.
I think that's the podcast line.
Yeah, and preferably
I think we can all agree with that.
Kids.
Don't be a racist, you dick.
Don't be a racist.
That'd be the only lesson that you're teaching them, to not be recorded saying racist things.
Yeah, it's just such a shit. I mean, to be fair, we don't have the actual apology, and so it's all hearsay. But if that's the general message he was getting across, then that's pathetic. I'm not on board with it at all.
No, agreed. Don't be a racist. And if you're a racist and you're listening to this, never listen to it again. But definitely leave us a little review before you delete it. Thank you very much. Next, shall we move on?
Wow. Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about Extreme Rules after this.
Hardest part of the ring, and Sami Zayn able to dodge that catastrophe.
WWE Extreme Rules 2018 happened at the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It's lucky we've got pop filters on our microphones, because that could be a very uncomfortable listen. Did you sort of think it was quite a small arena for WWE?
I didn't really notice, to be fair.
I sort of thought at the
No,
start
me
it was
either.
14,000. I think usually they have maybe up to like 18 to 20,000. I thought it looked slightly more intimate and pretty cool. But yeah, Extreme Rules. We are going to do things slightly differently. If you listen to the Money in the Bank podcast, you will know that we tried a little new format because all WWE pay-per-views are now nearly 4 hours long, which is
4 days long.
annoying.
Yeah.
So the plan is to firstly review the key matches. So we've picked out a few of the key matches to talk about in more detail than the others. Then we're going to talk about the best of the rest, the worst of the rest, pick a star performer from the pay-per-view, and finally we're going to give the pay-per-view a score out of 10. So that's kind of a new idea, and we thought that in the long run we'd be able to then look back and pick out our favourite pay-per-views, because there's so bloody many, it's quite hard to remember which ones were good.
I can't wait till one of us scores 11.
Oh,
I get a feeling that
it's
won't
definitely
be.
going to be a New Japan one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to be a WWE one.
It has to involve Kenny Omega.
Yeah,
Has to.
no doubt. Okay, so key matches first. Sort of the headline matches, really. So we're going to start off with Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman, which came pretty early. Actually, shall I quickly go through the card?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah.
Just for anybody who hasn't watched it and is decided to listen to Hardest Part of the Ring instead of watching any wrestling for their news. There might be some people out there who do that.
Because you made a great choice.
Yeah, you did. We had a pre-show of Sin Cara versus Andrade Almas, and then New Day versus Sanity in a tables match. And I'm sure we'll touch on those briefly later. Then the main show had the Deleters of Worlds, Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt versus the B-Team, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Finn Balor versus Constable Corbin. Carmella versus Asuka. Jeff Hardy versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. The Bludgeon Brothers versus Team Hell No. Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. AJ Styles versus Rusev. And Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler. And obviously with this being Extreme Rules, there were a number of different stipulations. Not that many.
Not a huge amount.
Yeah.
No.
Not that
Quite
many.
tame Extreme Rules, really, by Extreme Rules standards.
Yeah, mediocre rules,
Yeah.
I'd say. But yeah, Kevin Owens versus Braun Strowman. What did you think?
I kind of didn't really get why Braun has been bullying Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that's definitely been the theme. It's just been a feud built around Kevin Owens running away from Braun Strowman for the last few
But
weeks.
why? Why is he bullying Kevin Owens?
Oh.
It just seems mean.
Okay,
don't
well,
I mean, I don't know. I've just ruined all of wrestling. Like,
you
I
have.
can't remember the point, the beginning of this, I have to say.
No, I mean, I'm not going to complain about this feud because
Was it in the ladders match, maybe?
yeah, I like Kevin Owens a lot, and I like Braun Strowman, so it was enjoyable. I like the handcuffs and the breaking them off. It was obviously always going to happen, but
Yeah. I think some of those bits are just so telegraphed now, aren't they?
a little bit, yeah. It feels a lot less kind of spontaneous when it's every single
Yeah.
week.
well, this is the thing. Like Strowman is basically the moment machine for WWE, isn't he? Like he rarely has a brilliant wrestling match. In fact, he probably has never had a brilliant wrestling match. But it's just he's perfect for WWE in 2018. With it's just moment after moment.
Yeah.
You know,
Those highlight reels.
exactly gifs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that is fun.
Although, to be fair, Kevin Owens was the main worker in the highlight.
He was the most
moment of
gifable,
this match.
wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
congratulations, Kevin Owens, for most gifable of Extreme Rules 2018.
Yeah, his taunting when he got Braun in the handcuffs and he did the suck it and then blew him the kiss was brilliant.
That was really good. Kevin Owens is so talented.
Yeah. How do you feel about him as like the cowardly heel as opposed to the other side of him when he's sort of more seething and furious? And
I think it works as Kevin Owens as a cowardly heel because he's kind of like a school bully in a lot of ways as a wrestler. And, kind of sometimes that works as like a kind of actual legitimate threat. And it also works as a kind of cowardly heel. I mean, that's kind of why I think he would have made such a good Money in the Bank winner.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It can change depending on the opponent, doesn't it? So, like, I think, you can legitimately see him playing this role against Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't continue building on this. I'd probably say this is a good end point to the feud.
I don't know what they're going to do with either of them now, because and we'll talk about later what's going on in Raw in terms of getting a challenger for the Universal title, but Owens and Strowman don't seem to be mixed up in that. So
yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Strowman will be a SummerSlam cash-in.
Yeah.
Very good point. Yeah, of course, Monster in the Bank.
Although Kevin Owens is a bit of an interesting one, because I just don't know where he's going to really go. Kevin Owens should be in the main event, but obviously there's a lot of competition for that position, and it's been filled by Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns. So
they've got so many main eventers now. They really have.
They really do.
See, that's why they need something like to bring back King of the Ring. There's something that they can win that's not a belt. Put something like a good tournament win
or
on
like
without having to be champion. Something
a really great Royal Rumble or something.
Maybe they'll get to do something. Owens will get to do something big at the big Australian event. I can't remember if he's nailed down for something in there. I don't know.
I'm not sure. It feels like they're not really getting the most out of Kevin Owens, in my opinion.
No,
but he seems to kind of thrive in every situation he's in.
Yeah,
kind of filling that Jericho role a little bit.
Speaking of Jericho, I thought this was, linked slightly to Jericho in terms of his match they had, the first match his match with Omega, when he very gingerly and slowly threw himself onto that table, compared to how Owens went down onto the announce table. It was really smooth, and I was like, shit, is he even ready? But what's he going to jump into? It was almost as if he wasn't even looking for the table. Braun just threw him perfectly onto it. It was really good.
I hate seeing that crash mat underneath the table.
Yes.
It ruins the illusion so much.
Yes, agreed. It's like a massive airbag, wasn't it?
It is. And that's one massive airbag falling on another massive airbag.
Ooh, harsh words from the hardest part of the ring, massive airbag.
Wow.
Harsh beans.
Hey, if you're gonna give it, you got to take it, Sam.
Sam's sending that webcam straight back.
I am, yeah. My feelings.
Yes, Sam's got a brand new webcam. So yeah, maybe next podcast we'll live stream Sam from his bedroom. Nobody wants to see that.
From my study, thank you.
Study. I'm so sorry. From your study.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No bed in here.
Yeah, so obviously there was no recovering from that, but obviously this being a steel cage match, which we didn't mention at the start, there was a massive steel cage around them, and that's where Owens got thrown from. He won the match because he was the first to have two feet on the floor.
Was anyone else kind of like a little bit nervous for Braun when he was standing on top of the cage unsupported at the end? Yeah, I was just watching it and I was just like, please don't fall, please don't fall, please don't fall. Okay, maybe fall.
Yeah.
Really funny.
No, I mean, he's pretty sturdy, isn't he? I mean, his legs are like tree trunks. And he's got those massive Timberland boots. He looked pretty sturdy, but there's always a chance. There's always a chance.
Just a little one.
But anyway, I enjoyed the match. Just purely for Owens taunting and then Strowman chucking him off. Thought it had some good moments, as we said. Next match to focus on, we're going to go for Roman Reigns versus Bobby Lashley. And before we started recording, Sam, you sort of said you didn't really have much to say.
I have one note on this, which is that Michael Cole called them both bulls far too many times. It became uncomfortable.
Well, my thoughts, and obviously I'll come to you in a second, Brett, but this was really a great example of a match of two halves.
Yeah.
I personally thought that first half, when the crowd were really disinterested again and they were doing the Rusev Day chants and the boring chants, I was just like, God, this is so boring, and it's so like every Roman match we've had recently.
Yeah.
But then we had the bit where Roman dumped Lashley to the outside hard, so hard.
Yeah.
And that seemed to get the crowd interested again. And then from then on, I just thought we had the suplex into the announce table, and there was a lot more pace to it. And as I said, the crowd got into it, and I thought it turned into a good match.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I sort of did switch off with this match a bit because of said start, But then I did sort of, I guess, awake to it because, they were starting to get string, moves together and not just like hitting each other.
Yeah.
Or like, the rest hold sort of thing.
Exactly.
So it was, and Lashley like strung together a good number of suplexes and stuff. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'm into this now. I thought Bobby Lashley was looking a bit better as well.
Totally. Yeah.
Less mechanical and a bit smoother with how he was hitting stuff.
Maybe I need to give it another chance. I certainly did not enjoy this match. I thought it was just more dull from the dull team.
Yeah, it wasn't special. I mean, like, there wasn't much to the characters. I just think that it was a better, as like Adam said, a better wrestling match in the second half. But again, there was nothing really in either of these that has you invested at the moment, because they've just destroyed what, Roman had. And, Bobby Lashley is quite wooden in character.
He is. And I felt before this, I have absolutely no interest in this match or Bobby Lashley. But I'm a bit more interested in him now because I thought he came off better than he has. Like you said, it wasn't incredible. But, I mean, the fact that Reigns has taken the loss to help elevate Lashley is interesting because I did just assume that Reigns would win.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm kind of the mindset of like, I feel like I'm just watching the same thing again and again with like some strange convoluted plan by Vince McMahon to try and get the belt onto Roman by, I don't know, having Lashley lose and then he beats Lashley, or some weird method like that. And I think I'm at the point now where I'm just like, someone just put the belt on Roman, let the crowd kind of have their say, and then we can move on.
Yeah.
Well, it's worth probably saying now that on Raw last night, I'm sure you would have seen that they have decided that Lesnar is going to come back after the ultimatum from Kurt Angle. He's going to have his title match at SummerSlam, and then they did two fatal triple threats, was it? To find two competitors to face off to become number one contender. And the winner of the first triple threat, Roman Reigns, and the winner of the second triple threat, Bobby Lashley. So they're gonna fight each other.
Oh my god! It's just like, you know what? If Vince McMahon wants Roman to be champion, just put the fucking belt on him.
I mean, everyone wants it off of Brock at this point.
Exactly.
No one wants it on Brock.
What?
Like when Kurt Angle said that Brock has to show up or set a match, everyone was like, or he gets stripped of the title, and the audience were just like
strip him of the
nuts
title
for it. So like, just get rid of it.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind Roman as champion. I don't really care as long as someone is champion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about this? The best thing ever, which might happen, but probably won't because it's WWE.
Braun Strowman.
Well, hold on. Yes, obviously. But Roman Reigns wins against Lashley, gets his match at SummerSlam, and everyone's like, oh, for God's sake. And then, like, basically, Reigns is just about to win or does win, and then we get a cash-in.
Yeah.
Because the crowd would go nuts for that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Or...
Well, I would.
Hear me
I'd go
out.
for nuts for that.
The whole Goldust having knee surgery is a ruse. And... Yeah?
What? He hasn't got the briefcase?
He doesn't need the briefcase. He's Goldust.
Okay. Imagine the reaction. I think you're the only person who'd pop for that in the whole world.
I don't think I am.
Okay. We'll see.
Okay, yeah, fine. Just get the fucking belt off Brock.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, so next match to have a chat about will be AJ Styles versus Rusev. This was obviously for the WWE Championship. A running theme on this podcast has been that Rusev deserves better, and he got his title match, and he did bloody well.
That's a great match, this. Probably match of the night, I reckon.
Yeah, I think it's definitely up there.
Yeah, no, I thought it was decent. I don't know what it was about this pay-per-view, but none of it really got me that invested.
Yeah.
I have to say. So even like AJ Styles Rusev, which was a match that I'm keen to see, I'm happy to see, but like I think like the rest of it, there was decent in there. There wasn't like amazing or I don't know, there just felt like there weren't really bits you would talk about, you know?
It felt like a good main event for a SmackDown.
Yeah, that's my point. Like, like we watch pay-per-views and you watch things on other shows, and it just seems like they're missing that level up that they need to do. Like NXT do brilliantly, when they level up to a takeover, there just needs to be that level up in the matches that
do you know
you want to like shout about afterwards.
Part of what they really should have done here, they really missed a trick, is they should have made this a submission match. AJ's got a submission finisher, Rusev's got a submission finisher. That would have...
It's Extreme Rules.
Exactly. It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that would have been a great idea, actually.
And I like a submission match when it's done well. When both wrestlers have like a kind of a certified
totally.
kind of like, hey, I'm actually a submission wrestler. This is my jam.
And they both have submissions that look great as well.
Exactly. I love the calf crusher. That's so cool.
Yeah. And the accolade just looks superb.
Yeah,
especially that like stomp in the back before he like lifts them up.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think they kind of missed a trick.
I thought Rusev came across well though. He had a gutsy performance, obviously selling the knee injury at the start, and then coming back from that.
Plus, he's got some great kicks on him, Rusev.
Yeah.
Do you think Rusev's going to be staying in the main event picture? I mean, I guess there's a possibility now that he could have a split from Aiden English. What with English screwing him with the reveal of the turnbuckle, which didn't work out.
Yeah. Do you think that leads to like him staying in the main event though, or do you think that leads to them taking him on a little side?
What, Rusev versus
side
English?
Feud? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of at the mindset that they are kind of keeping AJ just warm until Daniel Bryan's ready to wrestle him.
Yeah. I mean, by the time this podcast goes out, obviously SmackDown will have happened, so we'll know what's in store for AJ, whether or not it's going to continue. But I have to agree, Brett, that the whole thing, there's sort of nothing went up to the next gear, did it? Nothing was amazing.
No, it feels like TV, rather than pay-per-view. And if it wasn't for the network and you were forking out for the, each pay-per-view, then you'd feel pretty duped, I guess.
Yeah. Especially considering how long it was, and like all those matches, so many matches. And they're just trying to get everyone in there, aren't they? They've got so much talent, they're trying to get everyone in there. But you have all these other matches that we'll talk about later, which are just so short and pointless. And
it's quite
and my
problematic.
reoccurring theme of like, every match being a championship match, and they just don't hold the prestige anymore. Or we see AJ versus Rusev, we know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have that, sometimes they manage to work it in the match, but not always, where you think, actually this might go the other way, but this, didn't feel like that one.
Yeah, agreed. It's a strange one, because I always try and be positive, but it's difficult with this one. This is like the most average run-of-the-mill pay-per-view I've watched in ages.
I think I'd concur with that.
I don't think I'll remember. I think maybe just Owens being thrown onto the announce table is possibly the only memorable thing from it. That will last for
and it's not that it's bad. So I'm not going to go on here and say, they were awful.
No.
This was awful and that was awful. It was just middle of the road.
Yeah, exactly that.
It's like they're all phoning it in. They've all got an ability and a quality, but whether I don't think that's on the wrestlers though. For some reason, I just got it in my head that's on storyline and
I would argue that middle of the road is so much worse than bad. Like, at least when you watch a car crash, it's like it's kind of entertaining. Middle of the road is just, who gives a fuck.
Hold on, so you'd rather watch a horrific car crash than just maybe a car going into a tree at 20 miles an hour?
Yeah. Wouldn't you?
So you'd prefer like multiple fatalities to just a bit of whiplash?
I mean, who are in the fatalities here? Are we talking Hulk Hogan or are we talking Rusev?
I was thinking all your best mates.
So Hulk Hogan.
I mean, I'm thinking like Adam doing this to Sam is brave, because Sam always sets everyone up in normal life with these scenarios.
Yeah,
where there is no escape.
No.
I'd rather watch a horrible fatal car crash than a boring love tap.
The awful thing.
That's just me.
The awful thing about this is that I quite often get lifts with Sam, and Sam's well known for being quite an erratic driver.
Well, that's not fair.
An erotic driver?
I mean, that's slightly more fair.
Anyway, I think we should move on from erotic driving and car crashes and talk about our final match that we've picked out as one of the key matches, which was the main event, the Iron Man match for the Intercontinental Championship between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler. Another. I mean, it's an Iron Man match, and it's got Seth Rollins in it, and it's got Dolph Ziggler in it, so it should be really good. But again, it just wasn't, was it?
Who found his way into Big Cass's tan locker?
Oh my god, yes. That was actually the first note I made, and then
that's the only note I've made.
Dolph Ziggler. His torso's more tan than his face. Like, it looks...
It was incredible.
It looks weird. Like, he's got the reverse. I mean, this summer, I've definitely got a T-shirt tan, and my face is obviously more tan than my torso. It looks as if when Ziggler goes out, he wears a bag over his head.
It was amazing.
And
he's so orange.
Cheek. Oh, he was like brown. Well, obviously brown, but you know what I mean? Like deep mahogany brown.
It was like David Dickinson.
Yeah, totally was.
It was an alright match.
Yeah. I mean, it was entertaining enough because there was, being an Iron Man match, or in this case, there was plenty of pinfalls.
Yeah.
And submissions, so there was always something going on.
They had 6 falls in the first 12 minutes, which is ridiculous.
Like a World Cup final.
Yeah.
It's just obscene. I thought they're like the pacing of it wasn't great.
I mean, I'm kind of grateful they tried something different here. I thought it was kind of cool that.
Yeah, I thought Rollins got cheated when Drew McIntyre, when he intervened and did the beatdown, and then that gained Rollins a point, and then Drew McIntyre then continued to beat him down again. And I was like, well, he should lose another point, surely. They just ignored it. They just it just felt weird.
One of the things I actually really miss, and I noticed it a lot during this pay-per-view, is that wrestlers don't attack the refs anymore. They don't lay their hands on them. I think maybe it's a kind of PG thing or something, but that would have been a great opportunity just for McIntyre to lay out the ref and then have at him. I think that would have it would have worked a bit better rather than the ref just kind of looking awkward and being like, okay, you've had your fun, now you can go home.
Yeah, it needed something.
I mean, I'm grateful they tried something different. It was kind of cool having Seth 3-0 up at one point.
Yeah. Oh, my main factor in this though, the crowd.
That was interesting, wasn't it?
I mean, are they starting to be like the most annoying WWE crowds?
Yeah, they basically did the Royal Rumble countdown, didn't they? For every minute that passed.
I mean, I get annoyed for the people calling for tables in all types of matches, and then this countdown just kept on taking me out of it.
I thought it was funny the first few times, and the buzzing noise they were making was funny, but then it lasted the whole match. So
and then it was every 30 seconds or something. It started to speed up a bit.
Yeah, and it just takes you out of things, doesn't it? It just takes you out of the match. And it's the fans making it about them being funny rather than...
Plus, I think when you go to live shows as well, you actually feel like you are playing a real part, feel like you have to play your part as an audience member at a wrestling show, because there's the heels and the faces, and so you want to get that going, and also it does feel like they're less likely to phone it in if they're getting a buzz from the crowd. I don't mean that if something is really boring, like Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal or something, boo that by all means. But just in half decent matches, get into it when you're there.
Get invested. Yeah.
I feel that it can improve the product that you're watching.
I mean, I would argue that neither Seth or Dolph did enough in this match to make it worth being invested in.
And I sort of agree with that, but at the same time, when you're paying, say we pay X amount and we're seeing, Seth Rollins wrestle, we'd be behind him, wouldn't we? Because you'd just be so stoked to be seeing Seth Rollins.
Yeah, sure.
Well, they have been there for 3.5 hours already.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
I just think kind of there's quite a big combination of things here that have affected the crowd, and this isn't the first massively long pay-per-view where the crowd have become disinterested.
Yeah, it's a long time to try and invest.
It's a constant thing.
And but Iron Man match is a bit of a weird one for me because it's like, well, whatever happens, this is going for 30 minutes. So we're sat here now for the next 30 minutes.
Yeah. I think
So,
you've got to be really, really great wrestlers to pull off an Iron Man match. And whilst I think Seth Rollins is a great wrestler, I do not think the same of Dolph Ziggler as much as I wish I did. I just don't.
No, I'm not fussed about Dolph at all, really.
I think the thing with Dolph
He's
is
reliable to an extent, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
I think he was red hot when he was the lone survivor in that Survivor Series back in 2014, I think. And then since then, he's been on a very slow and steady decline, which has not really ever picked back up for him. Kind of the Randy Orton trajectory.
Yeah, like he's picking up belts every so often, US titles and intercontinental titles, but he's not really having very memorable runs with them, is he?
Exactly.
No.
Also, he hasn't got rid of the fucking record wipe yet. What's going on there?
Plus, it feel like, and this might be a harsh criticism, but like, has he evolved? You know, like I know they give him some slightly different gimmicks, but it seems like he's doing the same thing, even with those. And it's just, you know, he gets a bit more shitty on the mic sometimes. Like, it doesn't feel like perhaps, you know, he goes all in on something new. Or not totally new, just, you know, a tweak, you know, let's evolve a little bit.
He's hardly shaved off all his hair and started dressing like restaurant staff.
Exactly. Hiding your belly button and shaving your head.
Maybe it's the tan. That's his new gimmick, just being Big Cass.
He's just going to get darker and darker every week until it's totally unacceptable. Okay, so those were our 4 key matches. And yeah, as you can tell, we weren't totally bowled over by them. But now we get to talk about the best of the rest. So highlights from other matches or other matches that stood out. Sam, anything in particular?
I've been talking about this all day. Andrade Cien Almas beating Sin Cara. That was the best match on the whole pay-per-view, in my opinion.
And it was in the pre-show.
It was in the pre-show. And I tell you what, if that's what they're going to do with the pre-show from now on, just have like 2 matches and both of them be really solid, I think I might just start watching the pre-show and stop watching the main thing. Because, this match was...
That wouldn't be good for the podcast though, Sam.
Well, I could do your pre-show reviews and then check it out.
What? Part-timer?
Yeah, you know, I'm stepping on Brett's territory here.
Pre-show Jones.
Yeah.
I don't know, this match was really good. Andrade Cien Almas looks like he's flourishing. He's got real good in-ring chemistry with Sin Cara, and there was some beautiful wrestling here. Sin Cara's spike Hurricanrana he did from the corners are really good.
Well, that Hurricanrana onto the floor, onto the outside.
No, that was a terrible botch.
Okay, because that one went totally wrong. Good.
No, I was talking about the one that was kind of it was in one of the corners, but inside the ring. Sin Cara looked like he bounced himself off the ropes and then did it. It was cool. And then Cien Almas again with his tranquilo pose, and especially with like Selena Vega kind of doing the dual one. It's very cool.
That was cool.
Very kind of Los Ingobernables.
Yeah.
Just I love seeing him wrestle. He's an absolute joy. And
that hammerlock DDT is a sweet move as well.
I tell you what, it's one of the few DDTs I've seen where I'm just like, yes, that's a DDT finisher.
Yeah,
he's brilliant. Yeah, I went back and watched it. I wasn't planning on watching it, but you said it was good, so I did, and it was good. It was nice. It was sort of like 7 minutes, I think, and they packed a lot in, and it was a really solid match, and definitely up there with the best of the night, which is crazy, really.
Just a good self-contained match.
Yeah, Brett, anything else you enjoyed?
So my best of the rest is the USA belt match, just because it was like done and dusted in no time at all.
6 seconds that match was.
Yeah, beautiful.
I enjoyed this actually a lot. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
me too.
So that led me on to my star performer, which was Shinsuke Nakamura for speeding things up. Knowing what this show is going to be, he's just like, it's all right, guys, I've got this.
I was so convinced that you were going to go for Orton.
Yeah. See, that's funny because that match, when that happened, I was like, is this really good or really bad that this has just happened? And I was thinking, I wonder what the guys will think. And I had a feeling that you might be, because obviously it started with a low blow. So I thought, oh God, here we go. Sam and John won't like this. But the fact that we got surprised, didn't we? We got shocked.
Yeah.
And that so rarely happens.
And that's
we
such a
often
great
say
thing
that
for wrestling, yeah.
That's what we want, yeah.
Jeff Hardy's meant to be quite injured at the moment, isn't he? Or suffering.
He's got a terrible skin condition on his face.
Pentagon Juniors.
Yeah. I think he's got back problems or something. I was reading that he's not doing swantons in live shows and stuff because he's suffering. So I wonder if he's going to have a break after this. But if he's going to have a break, then let him have a break straight away.
Yeah.
Great way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. And what do we think about Randy Orton's heel turn?
That fucking ruined it.
I mean, I prefer Orton as a heel than a face.
Orton turning up.
I prefer Orton as an absentee.
Yeah, it was like, oh God, his music. But then, you expected him then to go after Nakamura potentially, and then he did what he did. And if he's turned, and we want him to be a heel, so it will be better for him.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was not expecting him to come out because I thought he was taking a break and we were going to have a break from Orton, and it just doesn't feel like. I mean, apparently it's been 2 months.
I can't believe
it doesn't.
2 months.
It doesn't feel like it's been any time at all. It's like where you were meant to be gone for a bit. What are you doing here?
Time flies when you're having fun without Orton.
I think it's because you guys are probably the same. I haven't really watched any Raw or SmackDown over the last month because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
So there's just been so much good football on that I haven't watched any of it, so I haven't noticed that he's been away. And you're right. It felt like he hasn't been away at all. So stupid.
I just felt like saying, turn around, not yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like kind of when you're a child and your parents come to pick you up from the playgroup, and it's just like, oh no. You guys remember that feeling when you're children. That's a thing, trust me.
Okay, if you say so. My best of the rest, I want to give a little shout for Ronda making an appearance in the Raw Women's title match. I mean, obviously the match itself was okay, and I'm still a big fan of Alexa Bliss, like John and you two. But Ronda jumping over the barricade, even though it was pretty obvious she was going to get involved, I just love watching her do anything now. She's so different.
Yeah,
I feel.
She brings such an intensity as well. When she's chasing people around the ring, it's not like a kind of, they're doing this pantomime. Yeah. It's like, this woman's going to catch you and she's going to fucking kill you.
Yeah, I think that's what I've enjoyed from her so far and that's what, makes Asuka great as well, is that she's got that pace to how, to doing things. It's not slowed down like it, it's 100 miles an hour. And like you say, it's intense. So it's exciting to watch.
Absolutely. I think that would be my dream matchup for WWE at the moment, is Asuka versus Ronda.
Totally.
Well, I mean, obviously they've got Alexa Bliss versus Ronda for SummerSlam, and that is great. Like, that should really be up there as one of the headliners. What a great match to have for SummerSlam. I can't wait to see that. But I love the way that when she was throwing Mickie James around, when she first got her hands on her, it just doesn't... I mean, I don't know if she knew what she was doing. It looks real. It looks real.
She's just a legitimate... But it didn't help that Mickie James was wearing heels.
Well,
yeah, just
Mickie James, John's favourite, of course.
Yeah,
best wrestler of last year, didn't he say, or something like that?
Yeah, no, best wrestler 2017, 2016 and 2018 apparently.
Yeah, best wrestler of all time, I think he was saying. And then I also wanted to give a shout for a very small shout to say that I thought Balor versus Corbin was actually it was sort of decent, as in they clearly have wrestled together a lot over the years when they were on NXT and touring and things, because I thought some of the sequences they put together were quite good. Hey Brett, I really like the bit where Baron Corbin slid out of the ring and slid back in.
You
are on your own, Adam.
Yeah, I hate it.
I don't like New Corbin. He looks like a fucking bouncer. He just looks like you're not coming in here.
Yeah,
he does.
I know why they've done it, because they've made him the constable of Raw.
Am I missing something here? But isn't a constable a British policeman?
Yeah.
And isn't it the lowest rank possible? In fact, I know it is, and we've got a listener comment later that comments on that. But
yeah.
When I think constable, I think kind of the hat and the hello, not kind of
yes.
not restaurant staff. I don't know what's.
Yeah.
It's a very weird look.
His look needed tweaking, yes. But
Sure.
But why did they have to make? I don't know. They made some bits right and then some bits totally wrong.
It's really strange. I almost feel like they just looked in a thesaurus and found the word like constable or whatever, and we're just like, that will do.
Yeah.
That will do. Let's not look into it any further.
Yeah, what's an authority figure we haven't had?
It's just really, really odd.
It is. Okay, maybe I should have had that in Worst of the Rest. But, and then the final quick shout, Best of the Rest. We've got to give props to the heroes from tables, ladders, and chairs. The new Raw Tag Team Champions, drafted by me, the B Team, formerly known as the Miztourage. Surely that's going to guarantee them at least a 7 when it comes to scoring the draft.
So this segues nicely into Worst of the Rest, which was this match for me.
Yes, it was.
It
was terrible.
awful.
I was so pleased with the result, but it was terrible.
It was.
Matt Hardy is done, isn't he?
He's
I was
so
excited
done.
to see the Hardy Boys back, at WrestleMania and see some of their tag matches. I was like, yes, I'm here for this. It's done.
It's so done. And the thing with the B Team as well is that they're Rhino and Slater 2.0. They're not a proper tag team champions. They're just a couple of jobbers who happen to be holding the belt whilst everyone's getting their shit together.
Yeah. But this is exactly what I thought would happen when I picked them.
Sure.
I just thought the chances are now they're just the final members of the Miztourage. Something's going to happen with them, and they deserve it as the two individuals, don't they? Because for years they've just been asked to do all kinds of crap.
Yeah,
I wouldn't begrudge Bo Dallas any of that.
No,
yeah,
not at all.
But we'll see. We'll see how long they keep it. Probably not very long.
No, I think they're kind of just keeping them warm for the Authors of Pain or whoever the next major tag team.
Yeah.
On Raw will be.
Okay, Worst of the Rest then. I know we've already talked about quite a lot of bad things, but more specifically, I'm going to go first, and I'm going to go for Carmella versus Asuka.
Yeah.
I was kind of up for this because Money in the Bank, that I thought they had a decent match, and I've read about what's been going on since Ellsworth's return and all the stuff with Ellsworth getting involved with the spray and stuff like that. And the fact that he was in the shark cage, I was okay with. But again, it was all about him, wasn't it?
Okay.
And it was
Yeah.
crap.
So, counterpoint, I'm going to throw this out here, is I think this is my favourite shark cage match in recent memory.
I mean, are any of them that great? So, you know.
Not really.
I'll
It's
give
not a
you
high
that.
bar.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
So my argument here is that essentially the shark cage match, what I'm thinking about here is you've got the one with Big Cass versus Big Show with
Oh, dear.
Enzo Amore in the shark cage. That was awful. You've got the Kevin Owens with Jericho in the shark cage. That didn't make any sense. And now you've got this. And
You've got the one put with Paul Ellering when it was it
Yeah.
TM61 and
Yeah.
Authors of Pain and
at
NXT and someone else?
least they made use of the shark cage this time. Like, at least there was kind of, there was a story element to it. I quite like James Ellsworth kind of chucking the weapons to Carmella. I thought that was kind of cool. I was wondering, like, when they were putting him in the cage, you could see him being, like, you could see something on the floor attached to the bottom of the cage. And it was just like, oh, okay, right, so that's where this is going.
You couldn't work out what it was, though, could you?
No,
So it
and then
wasn't too
obviously it
obvious.
became more obvious. But at least they used it. Like, at least they kind of, Asuka was pushed into the cage, and apparently that's enough to knock her out. But, and like, whatever. Like, at least they did something with this. It wasn't just a kind of shark cage for shark cage's sake.
Okay, that is a good point. I think one of the things that took me out of it, again, it was massively like the crash mat when Owens jumped down onto the announce table, was Ellsworth's back
Harness.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, so what's going to happen here is you're going to hang down and Asuka's going to kick you in your back. And Asuka's really good at kicking, so you might want to wear some sort of spine protection.
I think it's a body harness so that when he kind of
I think that
hangs
was
upside down, it doesn't break his back.
hooked to his legs and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah.
I just thought it was something to protect his back from the
No,
kicks.
those things don't protect you from Asuka. If she's going to break your ribs, she's going to break them.
That makes a lot more sense. But then why not, then he needs to be wearing something suitable for hanging upside down.
Well, I mean, he kind of was. It just kind of got unzipped and sort of undone.
Even Bray Wyatt wears like something underneath his t-shirt, doesn't he? So his belly never hangs out.
Yeah,
that's true.
It could have been
possible.
It could have been executed better, but I liked what they were trying to do here.
Yeah, and it was cool Asuka like beating everyone up.
Yeah, and also,
like
they're
everyone.
at least starting to fly the flag again for intergender matches, even if that is just James Ellsworth versus Asuka at the moment. It's a start.
Okay, yeah, you've persuaded me a little bit that it wasn't as bad as I thought when it happened.
On the other hand, you had the most talented women's wrestler in the world being defeated by Carmella, so there's that.
I'll upgrade it from bad to average, so it's now on a par with most of the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Should Bludgeon Brothers versus Team Hell No feature in this as well? Worst of the rest.
Oh God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
That was.
It's
awful.
just such a nothing match. Really, it was just such an anticlimax for everybody who's kind of enjoyed the fact that Team Hell No are back, and as I said, haven't been watching any Raw or SmackDown, so I haven't seen them. So I was up for this. I was up for this match, and
I am not excited for Team Hell No because it is essentially currently part of the Daniel Bryan tribute tour, phoning it in. Fucking Daniel Bryan, get your shit together and get into the main event, because this is just bullshit. No one wants to see you mid-carding it.
No, and he's clearly, not lost a beat.
No.
So just let him in the main.
It's going to be like this for months. He's going to win the title at WrestleMania, isn't he?
It's just so annoying. It's like, he's one of the most talented wrestlers in all of WWE. There is a lot of talent there at the moment. Just have him wrestle some good people. No one wants to see him in a fucking tag team with the mayor of Knoxville.
Do you think they're just respecting the fact that they've got all this other talent that's been there, has been working hard, and they feel that they can't just, I'm back from injury, get me in the main event?
Talent is talent. Like Daniel Bryan has worked his way up that hill, and not only that, he never went away.
No, I don't think people would begrudge that. And I think when it comes to, like you say, talent is talent. When you're that good, you need to be at the top. I think, because it's not like you need to earn the fans or earn the matches to improve yourself. Like he's there.
I mean, the thing for me is, hear me out on this, is that would you have preferred this card if it was the Bludgeon Brothers versus Rusev and Aiden English and AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan?
Oh yeah.
That,
not for Rusev, but
maybe not for Rusev, but at least Rusev has a legitimate tag team with Aiden English, as opposed to kind of this tribute act of Daniel Bryan and Kane.
This also felt like, though, it was to try and put over the Bludgeon Brothers as demolition people, that just wreck and destroy everything. But they're not doing that convincingly, I don't think, at all. I don't think they're letting loose, really.
No.
It feels like controlled damage.
Do you know what would be really cool for the Bludgeon Brothers? It'd be awesome if every time they tagged each other, rather than a normal tag, they slapped each other. I think that would be that would help sell the gimmick.
Yeah. I do quite like some of their offense, the Bludgeon Brothers. They do some quite cool stuff that is a bit different.
But I mean, it's the outer ring stuff, like with this, where they're meant to be selling that they're just destroying people before the match even starts.
Yeah.
Like it just feels tame when they have those moments rather than...
Yeah, there's just not enough to it at the moment.
Yeah. Not enough attitude.
Any other words to the rest?
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of been mentioned, but I'm going to have to add in Randy Orton turning up.
Yeah.
I need to say no more.
We've covered that. And I agree.
Yeah.
Totally.
Fuck Randy Orton.
Fuck you, Randy. Okay, star performer. This is a tough one. A really tough one. So we've got to try and pick one standout individual. Now, Brett's chosen Shinsuke Nakamura for keeping things quick and swift, and he did do what he had to do very well, indeed. When it's just a low blow and a Kinshasa, pretty easy, but still.
All you need.
Sam, star performer for you?
Can I have two?
Yeah.
Is that how this works?
Greedy.
Yeah, Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he did an amazing job, did a really good job. Also, really enjoyed Drew McIntyre and his role during the Seth versus Dolph match.
Yeah. That Claymore kick is brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's looking good, actually. But,
agreed.
Yeah. I'm going to go for 2 as well. And again, I wrote this down and I've got question marks after both of them. So it shows, how sure I am.
James Ellsworth and Randy Orton.
Yeah, I'm just like, I wrote Rusev, question mark. And then I wrote Bobby Lashley, question mark. Lashley, because Lashley did a lot better than he's done so far for me, and I feel slightly more invested in him than before, so that's good. And then Rusev, just because he had his main event match and he did well in it, and there's just nobody else stood out at all. So not the best picks ever.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to our overall rank, our score out of 10. If we each give a score out of 10 for the pay-per-view, and then we'll work out an average. This is bad, isn't it? Because I try and be positive, but I think this just has to be bang middle of the road 5.
Yeah, that's my thoughts. I was 5. Because nothing's really awful, but nothing was good to great. It was decent, so it has to go in the middle.
I'm
Sam?
kind of
Sam's going lower.
4.
Sam always scores harsh. We know this from the draft last year.
I was going to go 3. It's not a 3. It's a 4 for me.
Just to make working out the average slightly more difficult. So
Fair enough, though. Fair enough.
Yeah. What is the average? 4
14 divided by 3.
14 divided by 3 is 4.6. That's it, 4.6.
Sounds about right.
Extreme Rules 2018.
Can you get a sum up quote from that, Adam?
But you want me to sum up the whole pay-per-view?
Yeah, just a quote.
A quote?
Yeah, just a kind of,
Catchy quote?
Yeah,
something really catchy?
Yeah, just something nice.
Something really catchy that you expect me to come up with off the top of my head. Okay.
Yeah, you're a presenter.
Extreme Rules 2018. 4.6. Not especially good, but not terrible. The longer I talk, the less catchy this is getting. Thank you.
Nice.
How's that?
I mean, that was a 4.6, so...
I'll take that. That was bloody awful. I'm not going to send that in as audition tape anywhere. Okay, that is that then. We'll do some listener comments after this.
Oh, wait a minute. No, Daniel Bryan's got Big Cass set up here on the apron. Hardest part of the ring. Oh man. My goodness.
One thing before we do listener comments that I wanted to mention that I saw is Elias. Did you see this? He's got an album coming out next week.
Fair enough.
Did not see that. Is that for real?
Be popping hard. Yeah, true story.
True story.
He has an album coming out, so I'm actually genuinely quite looking forward to that.
Is it with WWE Studios?
Yeah, it's not his own thing, unfortunately. But yeah, so we've got that to look forward to. Maybe we'll do a little bonus podcast, a track-by-track review of that. Almost definitely not. Listener comments. John's not here, so Sam, this is your chance.
All right, cool. So Dave Green has got in touch with us. Is it bad for me to say that I quite enjoyed Reigns versus Lashley? Yes, Dave Green. The answer is yes.
No, it's not,
isn't.
Dave.
Exactly. I enjoyed it. The second half, I enjoyed it.
Fair enough.
I hated the first half, but yeah, it's not bad.
Okay, Dave,
Don't
you
listen to
split
Sam.
the pod. Heel Nick Payne's got in contact with us. Good old friend Heel Nick Payne. I've had to work through watching, but enjoyed what I see. Mostly heard. Good show furthering the storylines and some solid matches. I was excited for Jeff and Shinsuke, but can't complain as it really shocked me. Owens,
Yes.
Stunner, suck it, bump off the cage. Tribute to the Attitude Era. Love him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Good.
Yeah.
Fair point. Yeah. I don't know.
That's the quote.
Fantastic reaction. John, your job is safe as reader of listener comments.
Oh.
Sorry. Anyone else? Else?
Old Mr. Beerface got in contact with us as well. Aside from a few moments, it wasn't a very #Peng event. Peng?
There you go. You are an upgrade on John. You managed to say Peng correctly.
Yeah. Owens probably
Penge.
stole the show. What a guy. Does this mean Braun is a heel now? He felt particularly heelish in this match. Does it even matter? Probably not. I enjoyed the B-Team's win more than I expected. Decent match too. AJ versus Rusev was match of the night and should have been on last. I agree. We need more accolade, like when he nearly bent Kalisto in half.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That was great.
Ziggler versus Rollins was yawn. Who cares about Ziggler? No one. Also, pinfalls are meant to be hard to get in, so 4 and 30 minutes is dumb. Yeah, but I suppose that was the kind of point here, is it was trying to do something a bit different.
Yeah.
I know, but that I struggle with that, because if it's that easy to pin, then it's stupid. It's stupid.
Lastly, Constable Baron Corbin has to be up there with the worst wrestling names ever. The lowest rank of the police. Ooh, you're hard. His music, good. Doesn't even fit with his new image. Bad. It was also funny that he removed his race coat to wrestle, but not the smart shirt. There's a touching tribute to Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping he was going to wrestle in the waistcoat as a tribute to Southgate, but also to Jack Gallagher and Spike Trivet, but no, took it off.
Yeah. All very good points. I don't like Corbin either. Fair point. He's a twat.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you, Dave Green and Heel McPain and old Mr. Beerface, for getting in touch and for putting yourselves through Extreme Rules 2018. That is it. After this, we're going to announce the winner of the Riptide poster competition.
Back of the neck of Charlotte into the hardest part of the ring, courtesy of Carmella.
Give it to Carmella, wisely using the ring to her advantage.
So, a couple of weeks ago, we did a lovely interview with Josh from Riptide Wrestling, and he gave us some posters, some very nice posters, a couple of them designed by Brett. The Riptide Rumble one, definitely a favourite of mine. I was tempted to keep that, but I'm so selfless that I'm going to give it away with the others. So we asked listeners to retweet our Riptide tweet to get in with a chance of winning. And I've stuck everybody's names into the random thing picker online. I think we had 18 or 19 entries. And I'm going to pick one, and we're going to find our winner. Can we have a drum roll, guys? And the winner is LLC Oliver.
Hey!
Well done, LLC Oliver. That's cool. I think Oliver's been somebody who's been listening right from the start. So, yeah, good stuff.
LLC Oliver, a limited liability company, Oliver.
Possibly. Who knows?
Okay.
I'll get in touch with you, Oliver, on Twitter, or you direct message us your address, and I'll get that sent out to you, and I'll send you a couple of Hardest Ring. I'll send you a couple of Hardest Part of the Ring stickers as well, and we'll see what else we've got lying about. But thank you very much to everybody who retweeted that. Next podcast will be next week. We are back with our third ever quiz, the Hardest Part of the Ring summer quiz. And it's just clicked, guys. Do you think that's why John's off? Because he's realised that he's actually got to put the quiz together.
That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah. He says he's in Bolton.
Googling wrestling quiz.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot of pressure because, I mean, my quiz was decent. I think we can agree. Sam's quiz was very good as well. So,
yeah.
And also we've had, different winners. Sam won the first one, John won the second. So are we going to have a new winner? Brett, is it your turn to win?
No.
Adam, is it your turn to win?
Confident.
I really don't fancy doing a quiz, so I'm reckoning I might be in for another second place.
Okay. That's amazing. You really don't want to do it, but you still back yourself to come second. I doubt I'm going to win it, let's face it. I know the least, which is why I'm hosting. If you want to get in touch with the podcast, how can you do that, Brett?
Right, if you want to get in touch with us, we are hardestpartofthering@gmail.com on email, and we are at hardestpartpod on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. And if you want to buy some merch from us, which, would be great, we are hardestpartofthering.bigcartel.com. And I think we've mentioned it on the last show, but we do have both a new shirt up, and we also have, new, slightly cheaper pricing.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've got your brand new Hardest Part of the Ring shirt, and you've also got the vintage retro Hardest Part of the Ring shirt.
Yes.
Because it's a few months old. So if you're into being hip and having retro stuff that nobody else has, because hardly anybody's bought them, then definitely go and buy a t-shirt. Okay, that's it for this week. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Please review us and rate us and subscribe and all the stuff I always ask. That's it from me, Adam. Goodbye. Goodbye from Sam.
See ya.
And goodbye from Brett.
Bye.
That was the Hardest Part of the Ring.
That is the hardest part of that ring.
For the hardest